Okay, so hello to all our audience of Métal Zone radio show. We are at the HELLFEST. This is the second day. It's very hot and heavy, and we've got the huge pleasure to be with two members from a band called Elegant Weapons. So first of all, thank you for taking time to answer some questions. Can you first introduce to our audience?
I'm Richie FAULKNER from Elegant Weapons. I play guitar.
Ronnie ROMERO, vocalist of Elegant Weapons.
Welcome. So, first of all, what is the story of the band Elegant Weapons? Can you do a little brief history of the genesis?
Well, it was put together really during COVID. I put the music together and then got the band together around the music, really. That's the short version of it, really. We had some time, no one was really touring, so I had some time to put the music together, and then gave the call to the guys, gave Ronnie a call and asked if he was interested in joining, and we went from there, really. We released a record a couple of weeks ago, and now we're out on tour this month. We opened up for Pantera, a couple of shows, and this is our first festival today at HELLFEST, and it went really well, so that's the short version, and hopefully we continue long into the future.
We hope so for you, of course. How would you define the DNA of the album called Horns for a Hollow?
I think it's pretty obvious, really. I think it's the influences are pretty strong, as you know, where we come from as individual artists, you know, guitar players, and especially, you know, vocalists as well. You can hear the influence in there. I think it's the influence is a classic, but it's a modern sounding album. I think it's an album that stands up in 2023, but you can hear where those influences come from, you know, and I think we're all proud of those influences. We're not shy of putting those influences forward.
Can you tell us, how did you record this album? Did everyone participate to the composition? So how did you work for it?
Well, it was all done, as I said, it was all put together before I got the band together. You know, hopefully as we move forward, there's no lockdowns anymore, hopefully, you know, touch wood, you know, there's no more. So, you know, when we do the next record, hopefully everyone will be involved as much or as little as they want. You know, we can grow as a band and evolve as a band and write together and be creative together. But the first one was obviously written before I got the band together. But you know, the more time we spend together, the more ideas we get, and we can hopefully contribute to the next record together.
And all the band members composing the band, was it easy to find the right people?
I mean, he was. I mean, when his name came up, you know, I needed a singer. It was a no-brainer, really. As I said before, I think the influences of the band are classic ones, but it's a modern sounding band, and I think he's that kind of singer. He's a classic sounding singer in 2023. So when his name got suggested, it was obvious, really, that, you know, give him a call, and fortunately he was able to do it, and here we are, you know. But the other guys, pretty much the same, really. We've got some guys on the record, and then we've got guys in the band now that we tour with. So you call up guys that are the best guys for the job, and they happen to be friends and great players as well.
So what do you do next to music when you don't play music? What are you doing in life?
Besides traveling, a lot. Yeah, a lot nowadays. Yeah. In my case, no. I'm just you know, spend time in my house with my family. That's it. Yeah, nothing else. I try to keep it like the business side and the professional side, keep it really far away from my personal life. So yeah, I just spend time in my house with my family.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I mean, as Ronnie said, a kind of balanced family life with music, and music takes up such. I mean, we're all lucky enough, I think, to have a life in music. You know, be able to, you know, do it. But then you've got to balance the family life as well. So, you know, I've got a young daughter, so it's balancing the time with her and my family as well. But music is such a big part of all our lives, so it takes up a lot of it.
Ronnie, can you tell us more about your background before joining Elegant Weapons?
Yeah, I was playing with Richie Blackmore for 5 years on Rainbow. And then I joined Michael Schenker for a couple of years. We did a couple of albums together, a couple of tours. And then with my Spanish band, former Spanish band, Lorso Black, and then some projects around with my record label Frontiers. Studio projects more than, proper bands. And that was actually something like coming back to Elegant Weapons really attracted me from the band when Richie calls me to talk me about the chance to work together, especially the music and the songs he wrote. That it sounds like music that we all love, but in a modern way, and you can show yourself and make your own interpretation on the songs as a musician. So yeah, pretty much that. Pretty focused on the Elegant Weapons right now. Yeah.
Richie, you know very well Andy Sneap that produced the album. That's right. Okay. What was his work with the band, with Elegant Weapons?
Well, I know. I mean, me and Andy text every day. Pretty much, we're like a married couple. There's always something we're talking about, whether it's the Elegant Weapons album or the Priest album or amplifiers or guitars. We're always texting. And so again, I keep saying it, but Andy he's a modern producer. He makes modern records, but Andy has a character as a producer which brings out the same music that we love, that we keep talking about. So it's those influences that Andy grew up with as well. Andy grew up, in the 80s heavy metal type stuff. So I've worked with Andy a lot in Priest and stuff like that. So again, it was an obvious choice to work with Andy. I wanted an album that sounded modern, but contained those. I keep repeating it, but it's an important thing. So Andy again was an obvious choice, and he's a great friend, great producer, and a no-brainer to get in on this band.
Looking back at your childhood together, in which musical environment did you grow up?
I grew up in a family of musicians. All family members, they were musicians in some way. My father, he was a singer. My mother, she used to play guitar and sing. My older brother, he was a drummer during the teenaging. So we were surrounded by instruments all the time in the house, So yeah, there pretty much a lot of music around. Yeah.
My father played guitar a little bit, and he had friends that were in bands and stuff. But my exposure to heavier music came from him, my father. But I was also exposed to, I grew up in the 80s, so I was exposed to 80s pop music as well, which is different to pop music these days. You had stuff like Duran Duran and Ultravox and Bryan Adams, and it was different pop music. So I was exposed to that as well. So, but my father introduced me to Hendrix and Deep Purple and Thin Lizzy and stuff like that, and I went from there. Really, that was my exposure to it.
Okay, what is the future for the band? Touring, defend the album?
We've got a long drive tomorrow. That's yeah. We're touring the rest of this month. We've got some more big festivals to do. I think we're doing Grass Pop in a couple of days. We'll meet back up with Pantera for a couple more shows. We were fortunate enough to get some shows this summer with Pantera, opening up for them, which is a fantastic opportunity for us. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for coming. So yeah, and then we're looking for other opportunities past that. So, we're looking, to maybe get a support tour or our own tour past that, maybe in the States, maybe in Japan, wherever we can get. We're a band that wants to grow and evolve as a band and develop like that. Yeah, so that's what we're looking for.
Thank you very much. This was Ronnie and Richie from Elegant Weapons. We wish you a lot of good things, of course, for the band, for your family, for you, the success you deserved, and have fun at the HELLFEST. Bye-bye.